I'm Brooke Custis, the principal of Creekside Elementary, and welcome to our 2024 Ag Day. Creekside is the home of an Ag Stream program. This is our fourth year to have the program, and each year it's grown exponentially due to the support we have of our community and our state partners and our families that support it. Our students embed agriculture in everything that they do, and they learn about how agriculture is the foundation of their civilization.
You had the Ag Commissioner here today. How special was that?
It was very special, and it was the highlight of our program over the last 4 years. I think the students got to really see that agriculture does impact our state and that they get to play an important part in that by learning about it every day.
Hi, my name is Catherine Updegraff.
I'm Garrett Hamilton.
We're here at Creekside today to kind of teach about heavy machinery and kind of the safety that you need to be using. We're talking about the row bar, the importance of your seatbelt, kind of life and death decisions that you make every day, and the importance of being safe and doing things to protect yourself.
So we're with the rollover tractor today at Creekside, showing the students the importance of having your roll bar up and seatbelt on. The rollover tractor is with the Department of Agriculture for Kentucky. So what this demonstration shows is if the roll bar is down and your machine were to start falling over or tipping, you go on the side of a hill or hit a stump in the field, and there's nothing to prevent that machine from being able to roll over on top of you. So what this is just a good visual demonstration as to what can happen. These heavy machines, they do tip, they are heavy. So what we show is Catherine will put the roll bar up for us, and it shows how that roll bar will work when the tractor or machine hits the ground. And the main message that we try to portray with this demonstration is seatbelts and roll bars save lives. So if you're sitting in here in your safety zone, like George is up there, he has a seatbelt on and his roll bar up. When that machine starts to roll over, if it ever were to, that roll bar will hit the ground, and it prevents that machine from being able to roll over and make a bad situation worse.
I was going to say, in the last 20 years, farm equipment has gotten extremely safe.
Correct.
But you still have humans that might not be
as safe. Correct. And there are programs to retrofit machines, older models that weren't required to have the roll bars or the seat belts on. So it's always good if you don't have one to get one on, and always remember to have your roll bar up and seat belt on. What are two things that we learned today regarding George? And who back there in the green shirt?
Wear your seatbelt.
Right. Right. So seatbelts and roll bars save lives.
What is it called when the row bar's up? And that little zone that you're in? Safety zone. Good job. And what are we going to do in the car every single time? Put your seatbelt on! How are we going to sit on the bus? How would a tractor roll over? So there's a lot of different things that could happen if you're going around a steep, or you're on a steep like hill, or there's even like a small bump in your path. There could be many things that could tip over your tractor. So it's important that we make sure that we're safe on any type of heavy equipment like this, because anything can happen.
My name is Amber Reedy, and I work for Nutrient Ag Solutions. I am the Precision Ag Lead for Eastern Kentucky. Today we are here with the students, letting them grow their own flowers and letting them know what Nutrient Ag Solutions does for our community.
Hello, my name is Emily, and I'm very excited for my seeds to go because I don't know what they look like.
I'm Thomas Green. I farm at Star Mills, a little community here in Hardin County on the Nolin River. We farm as my brother and I farm together as Green Brothers. We raise corn, soybeans, and cattle, hay, and anything like that we can try to make a living on.
Depending on how many cows, so generally we have about one bull for about 25 cows, because we want to make sure that all the cows get bred early. We don't want to wait. We want the cows to be bred early so they calve early, so when we get ready to sell them, they weigh more, they're bigger and have more pounds. Yes. she asked, are the boy cows mean? So bulls are what we call the boy cows. So bulls are the males and cows are the females.
Bulls can be mean, and you always have to be very, very careful around them because they're the biggest ones and the strongest ones. They're very muscular and they're very strong. And early in the season, when we turn them out, it's breeding season, they can be very aggressive. So you always have to be very careful around the bulls. See, yes. No, that's a good question. She asked, can you tell if it's a bull by the horns? So bulls and cows both male and female, have horns. So just because it has horns doesn't mean that it's a bull or a cow. Either one can have horns. So I want to share something else with you about horns. So if you can imagine that if you had cows and you had a lot of cows, those horns can be very dangerous. So now, almost all a big part of the cattle are bred so that they don't have horns. It's what we call it polled, P-O-L-L-E-D. Polled means they don't have horns. And horns they can be dangerous because if you get in a barn with a cow, she learns when she's got a sharp point on her head, she knows that she can be dangerous. She knows how to use that horn. And they can push each other and scratch themselves, and they can do a lot of damage. So mostly if they do have horns, we generally cut them off because they can be dangerous to the farmers or the other cows. Yes. Hold on, let's get this young man. How big are bulls? The bulls can weigh, a big bull would weigh about 2,000 pounds. Somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 pounds would be about what the bulls weigh. They're a little bigger generally than the cows. The cows a lot of times weigh about 1,000 pounds or 1,100 pounds. Yes. So she asked if the girl cows, which we just call cows, if they can be mean. So you got to remember that these animals weigh 1,000 pounds for the cows, 1,000, 1,100 pounds. So they're very big, very strong. So they can be mean easily. They can butt you, but generally they're only mean if you're bothering their calf, they can be mean. But any of the animals, they don't have to be mean. They're so big and strong that they can be dangerous without trying to be mean. They can be dangerous. Yes. Yeah. So what he asked if bulls have curly hair on their. So some cows, particularly Herefords, which is the red and white. They got the red with a white face. They do often have curly hair on their heads. I don't know why they do, but they do. Yes. How many times do they listen? So she asked about a cow chewing their cud. This is interesting. I want to share that with you. So a cow eats differently than we do. She'll go around. Generally, they lay around at night, and early in the morning they'll get up and they'll go to their spot where the nice fresh grass. They'll eat and they'll bite the grass, and they don't chew it at that time. They swallow it. They've got a large stomach called a rumen. So the cows have 4 stomachs, but as they eat the grass, as they bite it, they just swallow it and push it down into that rumen. Then after they've got their fill, they'll go and lay down under a tree somewhere and relax, and they regurgitate that from the rumen, and they lay there, and that's called chewing their cud. They lay there, and that's a good way to know if your cows are doing good, if they're happy and doing well. If they're laying there chewing their cud, they're generally happy and doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everything's okay.
All right, let's make this our last question. We gotta go.
So I want to share one very, very important thing with you. It's called, I want you to remember this word. This is important. It's called photosynthesis. Does anybody know what photosynthesis is? So all the energy that we get on Earth comes from the sun. And photosynthesis is how plants are able to transform that solar energy into something that we can use here on Earth. So that's what cows do. They eat the grass that came from solar energy and produce something that we can eat. So we can't eat grass, but we can eat cows. Cows eat the grass and we eat them. So the process that plants use to convert solar energy into forage is called photosynthesis. Yes.
What are the other three stomachs?
Let's see, there's the rumen, the omasum, the abomasum, and the reticulum. The rumen is the first big stomach, then there's the reticulum, and then the secondary, and then they go into the third and fourth are the omasum and the abomasum, and I can't remember which order they are, but those are the names of the 4 stomachs of a cow. Yes.
How long can cows' horns get, and how many?
So she asked me how long they can get. They can get really long. Cows can have horns 6 foot wide. That's not practical for what we do, but for show cows or animals, some animals would have really big horns, but horns are not practical for just raising calves for beef. And she also asked how many breeds there are. There are a huge number of breeds of cattle. I don't even know, probably more than 100 breeds of cattle in the world.
Good morning, guys. How are you all?
Good.
Are you enjoying Ag Career Day?
Yes.
All right, so today we're going to teach you about some more careers in agriculture. We work at Farm Credit Mid-America, and we get to help farmers in a lot of different ways. So when we talk about the different careers in agriculture, we're going to share what we do, but I'm also going to share with you some of the things that you can do for a career in agriculture without doing our jobs. So here's a lot of different fancy terms for the different careers in agriculture that we offer at Farm Credit Mid-America. You could be in business technology, and what that means is if you're good with computers and electronics, there's a whole team of people that works in our Louisville office that helps to make sure that our computers work, right? So we work with farmers every day. If my computer doesn't work, can I help our farmers? No. So a career in agriculture could be in business technology. You could work for a company that works with agriculture. A social media manager. So maybe you like to talk to people. Maybe you like to take pictures. Maybe you like to take videos. This is a career in agriculture that you can have working at Farm Credit Mid-America. Emily is a financial officer. So she's going to share with you what she does in her career in agriculture.
So a financial officer is a fancy name for a loan officer. Okay? Does anybody know what a loan officer does? Yes, sir.
Does the officer things alone?
Does the officer things alone? Well, a lot of times I do work alone. What else might a loan officer do? Yes, sir.
A loan officer do church.
Do what?
Help other people.
Help other people. I do. I help other people. I help them get money for things that they need to buy. So what might a farmer need to buy? Yes, ma'am.
Soil.
Soil or a farm, right? What else might a farmer need to buy? Seeds? Yes, that's exactly right. So these farmers don't always have all the money that they need to run their operations. So they come to me and say, hey, here's my business plan. Here's what I want to do with my farming operation. I don't have quite enough money to be able to do that. Can you help me? And at that point, I'll look at their plan and we will decide if we can make a loan for them, okay? Josh, what do you do for Farm Credit?
Are you borrowed money? Do you want to spend all that money and it's a complete risk, and you like with farming, you don't know if you're going to make it all back or not. So what I do as a crop insurance agent is provide a way to make sure that you actually have money that you can pay back your loan. So what would happen like your crop fails? What would be a reason why your crop doesn't make a good harvest? Anybody know?
Because you don't water it.
You don't water. It doesn't rain. You know, if you don't have a way to water, it doesn't rain. You have a drought. You have all different kind of stuff. Every farm is different. The way people manage is different for every farm. So what I do is kind of help take some of the stress from not being able to produce money to make money back. So that way you have income so you can pay your loan back or just generate income. So that's what I do as a part of Farm Credit.
That's right. So there's a couple different things that we want to make sure that you all know what it is, okay? So we're going to talk about basic agriculture finance terms. So income, what is income? Anybody know? Yes, sir.
You get money.
You get money. It's the money that you earn, okay? Income you don't just get because you are nice or because you are cute, right? You have to earn the money. So income is money received, especially for work on a regular basis. So you're talking about different careers in agriculture today. So you're going to have to pick something when you grow up so that you get income every week, every month, every year so that you can pay your expenses. Taxes, that's right. Taxes are one of the expenses that you're going to pay. Very good. So your income can come from whatever career you have. That might be being a teacher. It might be being a financial officer. It might be being an engineer that works with soil. These are all different ways that you can get income. Or maybe you're a full-time farmer. Expenses is going to be the cost required for something. So if you have cattle, are there any expenses associated with that? What would you have to buy to make sure that your cows live? Yes, sir. Wheat, okay, so you might be planting something so that you can bale hay. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
They need food.
Food.
You had to give them water.
Water, that's right. Okay, so these are all expenses. Okay, and then a budget is another ag finance term. And so it's an estimate of income and expenses, okay? When we, as financial officers, work with our farmers, we want to make sure that they have a budget in mind. We want to make sure that they have estimated, right, that they've made a good educated guess at the income that their farm enterprise is going to make. And we want to make sure that they've considered the expenses that it's going to take to make that income.
So other terms that you might come across in a farming operation. Savings. Who has a piggy bank at home? Ooh. Oh, a lot of y'all, right? So that piggy bank is your savings account, right? So if grandma and grandpa give you $20 for your birthday, do you put it in your savings account or in your piggy bank? Yeah. You're saving that money up so that you can buy something that you want, correct? So farmers do this a lot as well. Whenever they make a lot of income, they will tuck away some money into a savings account so that they can use it to buy tractors or to buy more cows or to buy seed or fertilizer in the future, okay? A loan, we talked about what a loan is earlier. So a loan is when you can't pay for it in cash, you can go to the bank or go to Farm Credit and ask them for a loan to help you buy the things that you need to buy if you don't have enough money on hand at that time. A balance sheet, that one's a little bit trickier. Does anybody know what a balance sheet is? You want to take a guess? Yes, sir.
It's money that you own.
Money that you own. Well, that's part of a balance sheet. So a balance sheet is made up of assets and liabilities. An asset is things that you own. So an example of an asset would be money in the bank, or cows, or equipment, or farmland. The liabilities are things that you owe. Loans, credit cards, things like that. If you owe mom and dad money, that's a liability, okay? So we take a look at your assets and your liabilities whenever you come and ask for a loan.
Why do you think a farmer would need a loan? We've kind of given you some hints. Anybody have a guess?
Right in the back.
Yes, ma'am.
Buy some tires whenever your tire gets popped.
To buy some tires, right? Okay, so they've got to have this equipment that works, and they've got to make sure that it's good to go. Yes, ma'am.
So you can get some stuff for your animals.
So you can get some stuff for your animals. So they've worked on their savings, they've built it up, and they've got some cash, and so they'll go to their financial officer and say, I need a loan because I need to buy feed for my cattle. And here, I've got a little bit of money, but I need to borrow the rest of it, okay? So then they put forth a down payment, and then we're going to loan them the rest. So that is absolutely a reason that a farmer would need a loan. All right, so move your red farmer 2 spaces this direction. All right, and where's my other friend? Come here, girl. You come read this. All right, so you all have a farm. You've inherited 10 acres of hay and 10 acres of grain from your grandpa. You had to get a loan from the bank because you didn't have any money, but the classes before you have worked their way around the board and they've gotten you some money. Some have paid off their loans and they don't have any loans. All right, so let's see what your class has to do right now.
Windstorm makes you replant corn, pay $500.
All right, so girls, y'all can go sit down. So there was a windstorm. So remember, Josh talked about his job as a crop insurance agent is to help alleviate some of that risk. So when there's a windstorm that comes and destroys your crop, you might have to talk to Josh about crop insurance, and he's a crop insurance agent. But what you all have to do now is our red farm, we're going to take $500 from you, okay? So you got to pay $500. That's an expense as a farmer to replant that corn. All right, come here, buddy.
Let's go.
You and you. Come on. All right, we're going to move our green piece around the board. Roll for us. All right, let's see what our green farmers, a 6. Excellent. All right, you move your green 6. Right here, we're going this direction. And you read it for us. All right, y'all can go sit down. So there was more rain. So look, the weather is affecting you all too and your crops. And there's more rain. So the fields are so wet that the farmers can't be out there working. So our green farm, guess what? Y'all also have to pay $500. So as loan officers, this is something that we have to think about, right? Our farmers can't always control every penny that they make because they're very dependent upon the weather. So as financial officers, we help to make sure that they have a plan in place, right? We might say, hey, we recommend that you all talk to Josh about crop insurance because if the weather is bad this year, we want to make sure that you still get money for your crop.
I'm Brian Jacobs, and I'm here with Eric Phillips. We both work for the United States Department of Agriculture, Natural Resources Conservation Service. I'm a soil scientist and he is an engineer. We're here today to discuss with the children different elements of conservation about what we do, how it impacts soils, as well as how we go about designing and planning all those practices with the engineering equipment. You make it with, that's right, the dough's made out of flour. Now, in soil, we have what we call silt, but silt is a lot like flour. And the percentages of sand, silt, and clay are what make different types of soils. So, what I have here is a soil sample, and I want you to touch it. What's that feel like to you?
Soft.
It does. Does that feel like clay or silt or sandy? What's it remind you of? It's sandy. So, this is a sample that, can you guys see it? You can touch it. It's mostly sand. Now this other one, as you guys can see, I want you to touch that one. Does that feel like sand? No. Is it smooth? It is. It's a lot denser if you push down on it. So this one is really heavy in clay instead of sand. So that's why you can see that it's much denser. It's even got some gray coloring in there. Now if we were to pour water on these, what would happen to the one we poured? If we poured a bunch of water on this sand, what would it do? The sand would just go like that, right? But if we poured water on this one, do you think it would melt and just fall away? No. They have different water holding capacities, so the point is different soils have different uses because they have different structures and they have different percentages of the sand, silt, and clay. Now Eric's going to talk to you guys about some of the engineering and how when we have different types of soils, how we can do different things with them.
What do you think of when you hear about engineers? What comes to mind?
Like
Make stuff? Right, mechanical, vehicles, maybe electronics. Electronics, I'm sorry, I stole your answer. Okay, that's correct. But with the USDA, we have a lot of engineers that are going out and assisting with agriculture. and we do that a number of ways. How many of you have been to Freeman Lake to watch the fireworks, maybe walk your dog, ride bikes? Freeman Lake downtown? Yeah? Okay. USDA and NRCS, we planned, designed, and built that structure back in the 1980s. Okay? So the USDA wanted to build a dam mainly for flood protection. So you don't remember, but the city of E-Town used to flood. Every time it rained, downtown E-Town would flood. And so they said, we need to build some flood protections. So we built Freeman Lake out of the soil, right? And so we get the flood protection, but what also do we get out of Freeman Lake? What other things can you do there? Fish, you could paddle boat, walk your dog, go for a jog, have fireworks on 4th of July, all those things. So those are extra benefits we get out of that structure. And so as engineers, we have to survey where the dam was going to go. We have to talk to our soil scientists to make sure that we've got enough clay to build that embankment out of. We have to talk to our geologists because we need to know what all that clay is sitting on, what is the rock foundation, okay? And so even when you think of engineering, big skyscrapers, big houses, bridges, all those things, what do they sit on? What do they rest on? They rest on the ground, right? They rest on the soil and they rest on a foundation. And so engineers with the ag department, we need to know how all those things interact with each other. One way that I go out and help landowners and farmers with agriculture is I go out and survey. So if they want to do a pond or a pipeline or maybe a grass waterway, we'll go out and we'll survey their farm and we'll say, okay, here's what you have right now, here's what we want to do in the future. And so I've got a lot of different tools that I can use to help survey. And this is the easiest and most basic one that I have. And it's called automatic level, but I like to call it a dumpy level. It sits there, it doesn't have batteries, it doesn't have to be hooked to the internet, it's going to work. It's always going to work. And inside that level is a crosshair, just like you would see in a camera or maybe a rifle scope. And so it will measure this rod. So if I set this rod right here, the crosshairs inside are going to tell me I'm reading right about 3.4 to 3.5 feet, right? Because that's 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, and then it's broken up into 10 different categories before I get to 4, okay? And so everywhere I go, whether I'm level, whether I'm up high, whether I'm down low, okay, that's going to read what's on this rod. But can I do both jobs? Can I hold this rod here and look in the scope over there? No. So what do I have to have? I have to have another helper, right? So I have to have Brian come with me. And so now there's 2 people doing the job. And we're both surveying and we're doing our thing. What happens if I'm too tall? What happens if I'm on top of a mountain and I'm up here? Is that going to be able to see me? Because it's looking level, right? No. So then we got to move the instrument, and that takes time and effort, okay? What we have here is a laser level, okay? And it can do the job that Brian's doing, okay? So it's gonna warm up. Can you hold this? All right, you hold it just like that, all right? Now, tell me when this starts spinning, because this is gonna shoot out a laser beam and it's gonna go all around in 360, and that's gonna spin. And that's gonna be my crosshairs in that thing, all right? And so as this spins, oh, is it spinning? All right, so it's got a laser beam that is shooting out at this level. All right, so face that towards this and just hold it straight up over your head. Turn it. Nope, there we go. All right, hold it just like this and then lift it up slowly. Keep going. Oh, it's telling us something, isn't it? All right, so as I move this receiver up, it's going to read that laser beam, okay? So if I take that and I put it on this survey rod, I could say, okay, nope, I'm not 2 feet off the ground. My laser beam's at what? Somewhere between 3 and 3.1, right? And so as I'm surveying, now do I need Brian anymore? Nope, I can go wherever I want to go and survey as long as that laser beam will see me, okay? And so that's really handy if you're working on a construction site, and sometimes you'll see them. Maybe they're pouring like concrete and they want to check, and every now and then they'll take a shot and say, okay, we need some more material, and then they'll check again after they're done. All right, what happens if I'm up on top of a mountain? Again, this laser, it's all level, right? It's not going to be able to see me if I'm standing up there, right? Okay, we've got other instruments that we can use to solve those problems, okay? And so this is what we call a total station, or EDM, electronic distance measuring. This one's special. This one's also a robot, so it's a robotic total station. And so it can do some things that are really handy. I still don't need Brian's help anymore, because this antenna is talking to that antenna. And so as I'm going, what's it doing? What's that doing? Is it sitting still? No, it's tracking me. And so as I'm surveying, that's keeping up with me and where I am. This prism up here, okay, this will shoot out a laser beam and it'll bounce back and it'll measure the time, and so then it knows the distance. So it knows I'm 10 feet away. And if I go survey down there, it'll know I'm 100 feet away, okay? What happens, now we were talking about the mountain, right? Okay, what if I'm on the mountain? I'm gonna be up high, all right? Now what's it gonna do? Look at it, what's it doing? It's looking up, right? It's tracking that antenna. And so I can go up, I can go down, I can go left, I can go right. And anytime I'm surveying, it's going to track me as long as this can see that.
Well, good morning. So we have our fourth graders here. All right, 2 classes. So my name is Miss Connie, and this is Miss Macy, and we both work for the United States Pony Clubs, which is a member organization. This is 70 years. It started in Great Britain, and then in 1954 it started in the United States. So I happened to grow up in the organization. When I was 11 years old, somebody invited me. I had a horse. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to ride. I was just a horse crazy kid, as Macy was. So, but in the end, I decided I wanted to be a school teacher, and that's what I ended up doing, teaching middle school mostly. But we both worked for this organization. It's based in Lexington, Kentucky, right? You've heard of Lexington? So that's where our main office is, at the Kentucky Horse Park. But Pony Club, like the pictures here, these are all riding pictures in different disciplines, English, Western. We have competitions, but most of it's around just the love of horses, learning. They're all ages now. It used to be that when I was when you were 21, boom, that was it. You couldn't be a member anymore. But now we had adults. We had so many adults, and other parents say, we want to learn. So now it's all ages. It's not real common in this area. There is someone, though, in Hart County that is interested in starting a pony club, though. And you don't necessarily have to have a horse, sometimes riding centers. But you guys are a great age to learn some of the basics. So if you see, you guys are 4th grade. So when you guys were 2nd grade, we were in the cafeteria, and we had the digestive system, and we ran way around the cafeteria with the digestive system. So and then last year we did bones. Yes. So if you were here last year, so that was pretty cool. I recognize some of your faces. So this year we had to change it up, because we don't want to repeat the same thing and have you guys be bored. So we thought we're going to do something different and teach you maybe a little bit more about safety and equipment and some of the items that we use to keep our horses healthy. And to start off, we're going to show you our shoes. Okay, so they have heels on them. Mine are called Jodhpur boots. They go above my ankle. No open toe. It's a solid toe. It's got a good thick sole on it. So if there was a nail in the barn or I stepped on something, hopefully it won't go through all the way through my shoe and into my foot. That's a reason for having a good sole. The bottoms of my shoes may not be clean, but I did polish the front, the top. And then Macy's got on a cool pair of kind of Western boots. Higher, Macy, higher.
I know.
And again, you don't have to ride in a boot. It can be different form, but a heel is really important so your foot doesn't go through the stirrup. The stirrup is where you put your feet in. So that's why you see any of these pictures, they're in boots, either tall boots or some kind of boot with a heel and the closed toes. So we are demonstrating that today. And then another piece of safety equipment I'm going to let Macy talk about.
Is a helmet, a safety helmet. So usually when you ride your bike, you usually wear a helmet. When you ride a horse, you usually want to wear a helmet because you've got one brain and this protects it. If you fall off, if you get kicked in the head, it does happen. This will just protect your head.
It doesn't mean you will get a concussion.
But yeah, it'll help protect. I've seen helmets, people have fallen off and their helmet has cracked, but they walked away with minimal injury. Yes.
What's the difference between like a bike helmet and a horse helmet?
Good question.
They have, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
They have different standards, so just like a motorcycle helmet is going to protect different than a horse riding helmet or a pedal bike helmet. They all have different safety standards for impact.
And a bike helmet doesn't go as deep here. It more just sits right on top and just at the top where the riding helmet comes, and even newer ones than this, they go a little deeper down, so it protects more of the back. So there's a difference. Yep, good question. Good question. All right, so those are two really important things, is what you have on your feet. We have clubs and center members down in Florida. And of course in Florida, no one wants to wear closed-toed shoes. But you just can't go into the barn in flip-flops.
Because the horse could step on you and toes will be broken, and it just helps protect your feet.
Yeah, even in good boots, I've been stepped on by a little teeny Shetland pony one time. She turned the wrong way. I had my foot in the wrong place. She can't see where her feet are. And she twisted like this and got my baby toe and broke it. So that was, I had on a good pair of thick boots. But I still, her 400-pound weight still made a difference. So that's just a important thing. Anybody know what this piece of equipment is? Oh, thank you for your hands. You guys are awesome. Way in the back there. Goes on their nose? It does kind of go around their nose, you're right. Any idea what it's called? Yes? A rein. A rein. No, good guess, good guess. What do you think? A muzzle? Not a muzzle. What do you think? Harness. Ooh, you guys are got some good things. Not quite. Okay, in the back. Halter. So everybody say it. Halter. This is a halter. So at least you can leave today knowing a couple names of things. It's good to understand when you ride horses or take care of them. That's what we teach is what things are called, how they're used, how they're fitted properly, because we want the animals to be comfortable, right? So we have halters in different sizes, and these are just two. They're a little on the fancy side. We had them colored because we used them in a different demonstration, and we needed different sizes, so we put them in different colors. But you can see this one's large. That would be a good size horse, and this is like a medium size, maybe a large pony, right? And you want to make sure you pick the right one. If it's too tight around here, the horse can't chew, right? You won't want to have them in a halter where feel like they're stuck and they can't chew or open their mouth. And then vice versa, you don't want the halter so big on them that they get a leg through. Believe it or not, horses can do strange things. They can reach that front leg up, they can have their head down, they put the leg through and get caught. So let me explain. What material do you think this is made out of? Ooh, look at all the hands. What do you think? Leather. leather's wonderful. The only downside is it breaks. But if a horse gets caught on a fence, on a post, on a gate, on a stall door, and has a halter on, and it can't get free, it can get hurt. So the leather will break, but you can get leather repaired.
Okay, so that's gonna go. You have to coordinate here because usually you guys put that on the nose.
All right. You stayed on the side. Good job. Okay. Yeah. Second one. Second one will work. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So now releasing it is this. Hold this, and this hand pushes into the horse's head, and you can release it. You want to try? Well, it just oh, there, perfect. It released it. Otherwise, you get this. It won't release. Yeah. And sometimes you have to release it quickly. Very well done.
And then, yep, that goes there. You guys have it a little more difficult because you have the bridle on. And then, okay, you want to stand to the left. It'll make it easier if you're more to the left. And then that's going to go behind the ears. And then you would hook it. Mm-hmm.
Which animal as a whole, like all the chickens, all the pigs, or all the cows, which animals as a whole do you think might eat the most soybean meal? Remember, count them all together and think about all the other feed sources they might have. What do you think? Cows eat a lot, but they also like to eat hay and grass. The chickens, you're right, they're small but mighty, okay? They eat over 60% of all of our soybean meal that we use in Kentucky. Okay? Now, where I live in western Kentucky, I live in Lyon County, and we have a lot of agriculture around our way, but we have more to the west of us, a lot of chicken houses and hog barns and things. And these barns are built especially for these animals to live in and grow. Okay? Now, with that being said, we have a soybean meal. We want to feed our animals, but we still don't want to be wasteful. So sometimes they refine this even more and turn it into soy flour. And that soy flour is actually being used in flooring as adhesive. Okay, so glue. Okay, and some of this flooring is actually going in some schools across the state. So that's kind of cool and different. And then this winter, when you all were playing indoor activities, did y'all ever play on any AstroTurf? Or maybe when you were younger, play like indoor sports? Okay, the back end of that can even be made from soy. Okay, so again, we use it in a lot of different ways. Now, when you all grow up and you have your dream job, whatever that may be, do you all think agriculture is still going to be important? Okay, why? Yeah, we need to have healthy bodies, that's right, because we like to eat, right? We have to eat, or we won't survive. And so we're very fortunate that we have great farmers across the state that help provide what we need. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a activity, and I'm going to go and see how far we get across this front row. And when I give you a tag, I want you to stand up here across the front, and we're going to do something like a food web, but it's a worker web. Okay? So we have a variety of jobs up here. Are y'all familiar with these positions? Okay, we got a chef. He's a really good chef, so he owns his own restaurant. We have a shopper, a grocery store owner, a barge operator. Okay, so she's able to move large quantities of soybeans, corn, coal, whatever might need to happen. We have a truck driver who is very helpful because how are we going to move stuff on the land? We need trucks. We have a rancher. Now, our rancher lives in Montana, and they have about 5,000 cows. So do we need to take care of our animals? Yes, we have animals we gotta take care of them. We have our banker and our soybean farmer. Okay? So, I'm gonna start with our soybean farmer. Okay? Hold that. Alright. And how do you think we're gonna get our soybeans off the farm? We're gonna put them on the truck. That's right. Truck driver, once you hold that. Now remember, our rancher has about 5,000 cows. Okay? So are you going to make our truck driver make multiple trips, or are we going to help him out and put them on a barge? Because he needs a lot. They need a lot of soybeans. So we're going to help him. We're going to put them on a barge. We've got our beans on the barge, but now can the barge go on the land? No. So where do the beans need to go now? Back onto the... No, they got to go back onto a truck. Okay? They can't just stay on the river. Is that for me? And then they're going to go to the rancher so they can take care of their animals. Okay? Now, their animals are taken care of. Now, do we like to eat? Yes. Yes. So now we're going to go to our shopper. Okay? Hang on, grocer. We're not there yet. We're getting close. Okay. So, shopper, we're all shoppers, right? We all have to have food and buy food or get food in some capacity. So, would you rather eat out tonight or eat at home? Eat out. So, when we eat out, who generally cooks our food? Where do we? Chefs, the restaurant. That's right. All right. But do we always eat out? No. Where do we generally buy our food when we eat at home this time of year? The grocery store. That's right. Now, is that all free or does it cost money? It costs money. That's right. So when you all grow up and you have your dream job, where are we going to save our money? Or you might even save it now? In the bank. That's right. All right. Now, is everybody connected? Is everybody connected? Is one piece more important than the other?
Yeah, the trucker is.
The trucker is very important, but...
No, because we all connect. The soybean.
They're all connected. They all have to work together, right? So the soybean farmer is very important, but can the soybean farmer do much without having a truck or a way to get his crop or her crop off the farm? No, and we've got to be able to move it. So all of these things work together to help give us, as shoppers, what we need each and every day. Okay? Now, what we're going to see is we're going to just say, you know what? Our truck drivers say, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. We're done. So truck driver, will you drop your string? Let go. Both of them, yep. Okay, so it's broke, right? So it's broken and we can see. So everybody drop your string. It's an all or nothing. So as you all grow up and you have your dream jobs and you're able to do what you want as you get older, all of these occupations and jobs are still very important and they help us each and every day. So this time of year, it's spring. So what are our farmers doing? They're planting. So that seed out there, that is what they're planting. Now, a lot of farmers, they have a lot of different pieces of equipment. But now, if they had a planter that was something like this, okay, they would be planting 16 rows at one time. Okay? Now, when we think of planting, we think about, oh, we planted so many acres. Have you all heard today maybe how big an acre is? Do you have any ideas? A football field. It's about the size of a football field. So in Kentucky, we plant about 1.9 million football fields. Okay? And on average, we get about 50 bushels to the acre. Okay? Now, one bushel of soybeans is equal to 60 pounds. Okay? So, when you all come back to school next year, and you all are in 6th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, okay, our beans, a lot of them, not long after you start, are going to look a lot like this. Okay, so right now they're being planted. Over spring, you'll see these little pink and purple flowers bloom on there, and as they bloom and they start to grow, where those flowers are is where the pods form. Okay, and as those pods form, that's when we really are dependent upon the rain, okay, to help make sure that there's beans inside those pods. Because you can see, like down here, there's 2. Up here, there's 3. There was some fields that had 4. Okay, so it just depends on how the weather conditions are as to how our plant grows. Okay, and when you all come back to school, they're going to still be a little green, but they're going to start to turn yellow, and And as they turn yellow, they're going to turn brown, and they're going to start to look like they're dead, okay, and they dry out. And this is when they're ready to be harvested. Now, you all are probably familiar with this piece of equipment. This is how we actually harvest our beans with the combine, okay? And it cuts the plant down here, and it feeds it through, and it stores the seeds up top. And then we're able to unload into a grain cart or into a semi truck. Okay, is there a question? Okay, so when we do that, when we load into a semi, you all see probably several of these on the roads, especially in the fall. Okay, for soybeans, these can hold about 1,000 bushels. Okay, so that's about 5,000 pounds of soybeans. Okay, so we are very fortunate that we can move a lot of soybeans throughout our state into all the different crops, or into all the different products that you and I enjoy. Now, we have a game that we're going to play, and it might be a little childish for you all, but I need you to bear with me, okay? You probably haven't played Duck, Duck, Goose in a long time, have you? Okay? But here's the deal. We have another group in here, okay? So we can't get too wild and crazy. But what we're going to do is we're going to play Bean Bugs. Alright? So why would we care about bugs? Why would farmers care about bugs? They do, that's right. Some bugs destroy a plant, so they might eat at the plant. And so we are very fortunate that we have farmers and they scout their field. So if you're scouting, what are you doing? If you're scouting a field, what do you think you might be doing? Not killing them at that point. You're just checking things out. You're just scouting there. You're just checking. So you might be walking out in the field just to see if there's any damage. Because sometimes, do bugs like to eat things? Yes, they like to eat things. And so they might have a little damage on like the leaves and that sort of thing. And so if there's a lot of bug damage, then they might need to apply something. But if there's just a little bit, they wouldn't do anything, okay? So what I need for you all to do is I need for you all to get in a circle. So here, you're in the middle. Okay. Let's see. Oh, no. All good. Try again. Let's see. Oh, all good. Try again. Got some good farmers. Okay, let's trade. Okay, good job. All right, people that haven't been picked. Oh my, go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Go, guys. All right, you did good. Come on in, come on in. Come on in. All right. All right. Okay, what you got? Say, people that have not been picked. No. Now remember, if you're not having bugs in your field, that's a very good thing because that means your plants are ideally thriving and they're growing and they're producing the crops that you want them to do. So, let's see. Oh, she's got one. Go, go, so close, so close. All right, come on in. That was a good chase. You sit here now? Yep, you sit there now. Okay, people that have not been picked. Now, when there are pests in your field, do you think the farmers need to do something to help take care of their crops? Yes, and so we have products that help with that, but they only apply those products if it's absolutely necessary. Okay? Pick somebody that has not been picked. Oh, nope. Not yet. Remember, people that have not been picked, third time. No, okay, y'all switch.
I'm Trey Stucker and I'm in 11th grade.
I'm Camden Thompson, I'm in 10th grade.
I'm Oakley Strader and I'm in 10th grade.
I'm in Jonathan Shell and I'm graduated several years.
I'm Hazel Duckworth and I'm in 11th grade.
I'm Sadie Hess and I'm in 10th grade.
I'm Nora Kubai and I'm in 11th grade.
So today we have been teaching all the kids about soybeans, corn, and wheat. We are looking at the Kentucky Farm Feeds Me videos, and we watch all the videos, and then we go through and look at these poster things that have a lot of fun facts and a lot of items that these crops produce. And we've just been kind of letting them feel the crops, get an idea of what they look like, so they're easily identifiable whenever they're driving down the road and they're like, oh, that's a cornfield, that's a bean field, things like that, so that they can make that connection between what it is and how it's grown and what it produces.
As commissioner, how important is this?
I don't know that there's anything more important that these students could be doing than to pour back into the next generation below them in these elementary schools, because what she just said is what we need to be doing as an industry as a whole, not only to the kids in the schools, but also to the adults that are out there. The more that we can help them understand that corn doesn't come from a can, that there's a farmer behind that there's a field that it grows in, all the products that are able to be utilized with it, the better off that we're going to be in the ag industry. One of the biggest things that we have a challenge with is the narrative in agriculture. And we love our animals, we love our land, we love our soil, we love our commodities that we grow in corn, wheat, beans, and other things here in the state. And the more that we can help people understand the benefits from that, the better off that our entire society is going to be. If you know where your food comes from, you can respect it more, and you can understand the hard work that goes behind it. And these farmers every single day till the land, they put their hands in the dirt, they care about these plants, they care about these animals, and they're doing everything they possibly can to be the best stewards of the ground, to be the best conservationists, and to practice sustainable practices.
Students, how important is that conservation product? You know what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Yeah, I think it's really important for us because not only is it important for the ground and to grow crops later on in life, but like for the wildlife, to be able to eat and eat what we grow, and just with the grass and the waterways and the water we drink. I think it's really important for kids to know what goes on and what it is inside the fields.
Economically, how is our farming, agriculture in the state? What do we need to do to get additional funding?
You know, for me, agriculture is an $8 billion industry in the state of Kentucky. It's one of the largest industries that we have. We've got about 69,000 farms in the state of Kentucky, and but we're losing farms. And the problem that we have is profitability. And so at the Department of Agriculture, the four things that we focus on a daily basis is on row crop infrastructure, research and development, and so making sure that we've got the markets available with the granaries, the elevators, all the end users that we need in this product. On the grain market side, whether it be a feedlot and you're feeding it to animals, or whether it be on biofuels, or whether it be in the grocery store, we're trying to make sure that we have more markets available, identifying the deficiencies and helping fill those gaps. We're also working on large-scale animal processing, of making sure that if we've got animals, whether it be poultry, pork, or beef, or dairy, that we've got the ability to have those end users here to where we're processing those to get them onto the food plates for people all across America. We're also working on food production network systems to get more food inside of our schools, our nursing homes, our universities, our hospitals, also with Kroger's and Publix and Walmart, of making sure that locally grown food is produced inside of it. And then the last thing that we work on is direct-to-consumer marketing, to where that we can get farmers to consumers closer from the farm gate to the food plate, so that they can help understand and educate themselves better, so that there's a tourism opportunity there and there's a purchasing point where farmers can sell their goods directly to consumers.
Why did you decide to come to Creekside today?
Well, I got an invitation and I couldn't wait to get here. Hardin County has great schools, and here at Creekside, with having your ag specific pathways that you have for the elementary school, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see how it operated so that I can be an advocate for this across the rest of the state, because the more we can do like what's happening here at Creekside, the better off the ag industry is going to be as a whole. We can't just get students understanding agriculture in high school. We've got to get them in middle school and elementary schools, and it's a big part of what the department does. We have an education and outreach division itself, to where we try to help promote those, whether it be in the mobile science centers with the trailers that we take around, or whether it be in events like this, or whether we go out to schools, we read, and we're involved. This is more of what we need to be doing to capture that next generation so that they can fall in love with agriculture the way that I have.
Thank you for coming to Ag Day.